Okay, so do your windows need cleaning? I mean, such a odd, you know, such a odd kind of topic. But um, when I came across this, I began to start thinking about the perception, how we perceive things, and how we perceive things is so great in how we move amongst one another. And Paula, it's one of the things I looked up this thing of perception, and perception is the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something, and it all comes through our senses. It's the state of being or process of becoming aware of something through the senses. And so when we begin to think about this thing of perception, um, we perceive things differently by our past dealings, through trials, through tribulations. We perceive things differently because of what we have been through, may not have been through, and so therefore we just perceive some things just a little bit differently. And so in that we perceive things differently, we are called to deal with one another, differently. um, I'm gonna tell you how this came about. Do your windows need to be clean? I was scrolling on Instagram the other evening, and I came across this short story, and the story went like this: a young man and a young woman had just got married, so they moved into a townhome. Once they moved into the townhome, they got up the next morning to go eat breakfast. When they went to eat breakfast, there was their neighbor, a young lady, was hanging out clothes, and the young wife said someone needs to teach her how to do laundry because her clothes are not clean. Maybe she needs a better laundry detergent. The husband stayed silent through this whole ordeal. He never said one word. So this goes on for about a month, and every time the young lady would go out to hang clothes, his wife would say the same thing. She needs someone to, or needs a better laundry detergent. He wouldn't say a word. So one morning, he gets up, and what happens is she comes down to eat breakfast. When she comes down to eat breakfast, she said, "Wow, someone must have shown her how to do laundry. Her laundry is so clean." Then the husband speaks up, and the husband said, "I got up early. And when I got up early, I went out and I cleaned our windows." And it's something in that story, and something just hit me with like a ton of bricks, and it just would not leave me, about sometimes how we can perceive things from where we are, not realizing that what we might be looking through is a lens, is a window that is not clean, that is dirty. um, Janelle, Tessie, Twin. Look, Karen. Sometimes this thing is so big, and sometimes we don't pay the necessary attention to the details that we should. How many times have we looked and judged a situation? What we call it, what the sports analysts, what they call it is playing Monday morning quarterback. After you've watched all the NFL games on Sunday, and then you sit up there, and half of us can't throw the ball across the yard, and get mad with the quarterback because he threw an errant pass or threw a interception, and so we're just sitting there playing Monday morning quarterback. when in actuality, we don't see the whole thing clearly. And so sometimes what we do is we rush to judgments, just like this young lady did. She rushed to judgment, and what she thought was that the lady, her neighbor, needed help and needed instructions on how to do her laundry. That's what she thought. But the husband sat quietly and realized that it was not that her laundry, the neighbor's laundry was not being done correctly and was not clean when she hung it out on the line. The laundry was completely clean. The problem was the lens, and the problem was the window in which they viewed the laundry. And because the windows were not clean, then the wife rushed to a judgment that was incorrect. And how many times have we found ourselves, Sister Maggie, in that place to where we may have rushed to judgment on something instead of making sure that the windows were clean? When I thought about this, I said, God, how can we be aware if our windows are dirty? What does it mean for our windows to be dirty? Because see sometimes, and this is just what I feel, it is when we don't look deep down within ourselves and see our own faults, see that we are imperfect. When we get to doing that, and look, a good acid test that our windows are not clean is when everybody else is wrong, and it's all about everybody else. But then we never look to see that sometimes we may be the common denominator. It may just be us. It may be the reason that things set us off so fast. It may be these things because our windows are not clean. And so the first thing that we have to do, Brother John, Pastor Jackson, first thing that we have to do is be willing, all right, to accept the fact and acknowledge that our windows are dirty. So, Sister Betty, look, and look, it takes a lot. And look, most people will respect the person who comes and does that self-examination. That my windows are dirty. And so something needs to be done about, there's something that I am going to have to do, because failure to clean the window then will be just like the young lady who looks out her window that is not clean and perceives that her neighbor's laundry is dirty, when in actuality, the laundry is clean. But what we are looking through, our perception of it is wrong, is hazy, is not clean. All right. And so we have to be willing to take a good look within ourselves. And if we don't, this will lead us to a failure of never recognizing and realizing, coming to the realization that our windows are dirty. The whole key to this, of her looking out every time her neighbor did the laundry and her thinking that her neighbor's laundry was dirty, when in actuality her windows that she was looking through was dirty, is this: what we see in others depends on the clarity of the window in which we look through. So we can't be too quick to judge others, especially if our perspective in life is cloudy. It's clouded by anger, jealousy, negativity, and unfulfilled desires. See, look, so Smith, look, Look, Brother Pete, when we have unfulfilled desires and this negativity and jealousy and all these kinds of things like this right here, that is a good acid test that we are perceiving things through a window that is not clean. That window needs to be cleaned off. And look, I'm going to tell you, look, things will happen in life that will dirty our windows up. Disappointment, discouragement, people walking away, loss of a job, money being funny, people being funny with us, and all this. See, all of that stuff right there, it clouds our window up. And when it clouds our window up, when we look out, the clothes that we see hanging on the line will look differently behind the glass, because we are looking through a glass that is not clean. The window needs to be cleaned off. But we have to first realize that our windows have become dirty. Look, and look, sometimes if we don't recognize it, sometimes if we don't realize it ourselves, sometimes it takes somebody else to tell us that, baby, your window's dirty. But look, Marcy, look, sometimes it takes them telling us that our window is dirty. Look, baby, that thing is dirty. Look. If it was not for her husband getting up early that morning before she came down to the kitchen table and cleaning the window, then she looked and said, oh, someone must have taught her how to do laundry. So it's apparent that because of her seeing clean laundry, she thought now that someone had taught her, when in reality what had happened was her husband had got up, went down, and cleaned the windows. So I said all that to say this. Sometimes we need somebody to help us clean up the stuff that we're looking at. And see, sometimes people want to get others around them that only agree with them. All right. And so if I'm only Rev Murphy, Miss Maggie, look, Brother Pete, if all I want around me is people that just agree with me and everything that I do, oh yeah, that's all right. Oh yeah, that's all right. But then I'm never challenged. It won't take long. There's going to be some dirty windows around there. Look, you need to have someone around you with a difference of opinion. Because see, sometimes you can be operating in a way, and see, look, Kason, and look, Kason, cousin Betty, look, I just love y'all. Y'all just a blessing. Y'all are just a blessing, and I thank God for you too. Look, the reason I read the scripture in 1 Samuel chapter 3, verses 1 through 10. It is because others can perceive stuff that is not correct either. See, Samuel was in the temple working. And with Samuel being in the temple working, people would think that he would know the voice of God because he is working in the temple. But he is working in the temple and did not even know the voice of God. You see how the perception can be so messed up? Just like now. See, sometimes we may have people working in the church, but they don't know the voice of God. They have not confessed with their mouth. They have not accepted Jesus into their hearts. So they're just going through the motions, doing things, whether it's in the choir, whether it's on the usher board, whether it's on the deacon board, whether it's in the pulpit trying to preach a little bit. That perception of stuff, just because people perceive it, just because we put on a suit on Sunday or go to the church every Sunday and sit in the pew, and then we think that we are going to be perceived as Christian, It takes more than clothes, baby. It takes more than just attendance. It takes faith in him. And so this is the thing. And that's why I said, number one, we have to first recognize. We got to recognize when our windows need cleaning. All right. And you know when you're not yourself. You know when you just firing off and all this kind of stuff, and you know that's not your normal self, or you know that's not the Christian way to do stuff. Then look, they some dirty windows. It's just simple as that. So that's why you perceiving. See, I'm leery, especially when I hear other Christians and everything they say is so negative. Oh, the church ain't this. Oh, the church ain't that. Well, the church, or used to the church will be this. Used to the church will be that. There's nothing at all good about the church. Dirty windows. Can't see. Look, the glass is always half empty. It's never half full. And see, Tessie, that thing gets me because I said God has been so good and so gracious to us. And since he has, we've got to see it, or try and see it from his eyes, that he has this thing all under control. And look, babe, we just have to accept it. Sometimes, bad stuff is just going to happen to good people. It's just simple as that. And that's just the sovereignty of God. And yet, and still, even with that, we have to be able to confess and say, look, God, I didn't do my best on today. God, I was just negative Nelly. I was not. Look, I didn't look up. I didn't see. I didn't see the glass half full. I didn't try to take advantage of the opportunities that you presented. God, I got up. I didn't tell you thank you. I didn't appreciate the life, health, and strength that you've given me to make it through the whole day. I drove up and down the dangerous highways and byways. You didn't allow me to get in a wreck. I didn't even take time to say thank you for doing that, for just keeping my family safe, for allowing me to have food on the table. Now, God, I got some dirty windows and I need some help cleaning them up. Because I want my perception needs to be, it needs to be refocused. And so now I'm just in a place to where I've got to get, because sometimes we need help seeing stuff clearly. And the young lady, she needed help seeing things clearly. So her husband got up early that morning and cleaned the windows. But then at least he did not let her believe that all it was the lady's fault not knowing how to do laundry. No. He told her what it was is that I came, Lady Mikefield. He said, I came early and cleaned the windows. He said, see, the reason that you perceived that her laundry was dirty was because our windows were dirty. And what we were looking through what was having an effect. Lord have mercy. JJ, Lord have mercy. That what we were seeing, it had an effect on the way that we perceive what we saw. That's why you can have two people sitting in church side by side and come out with two different things. There'll be one to say, the Lord spoke to my heart and allowed me to run on. And then the next one will be saying, I might well have stayed home. I might well not even got. It's just, and see, the good thing about God is that God will meet us right where we are. He just won't leave us. Lady LG, look, he just won't leave us where we're at. Look, he'll come and get us. And he is concerned about us. And he wants us to have clean windows. So now let's talk a little bit about this thing, about us, Minister Garnett, wanting to accept the assistance of somebody. Because Sister Vanessa, sometimes we just need the help of somebody to come and help us clean these windows. Sister Sellers, sometimes it takes someone being the bigger person. It takes us maybe taking a step back, taking a breath, not always having our hands on the wheel for everything, knowing every little move about everything. And because God has put people around us to help one another. We are supposed to help one another. And so it's bad when others, because look, believe it or not, just because you may perceive something a different way, and if somebody's on the other side and they're looking right at it and they see it, they know that that's not what it is. And so some people will go along just to get along with you, even though they know that you are so far off base, because they know that the laundry is clean. All right. But we perceive it because we are looking at it through dirty windows. And so everybody else, nobody else knows what they're talking about. And we're the only ones that know what we're talking about. But there has to be a place of humility that we get to so that we can allow others to come in and to help us. And I thank God for the young man coming, getting up early, excuse me, ahead, going and cleaning the windows. And so now the view is completely clear. See, just like with Eli and Samuel, this is how we get introduced through, to Samuel, not kind of going to get along and how it took Sister Wade, because Samuel came through a lot with Hannah and how she had to deal with Penina and all this other kind of stuff in 1 Samuel chapter 1 and chapter 2. But Lady Israel, when this thing came and the priest Eli came in and helped Samuel, young Samuel, little Samuel, the child Samuel, when he came in and finally perceived that it was God who was calling. See, it took some help. Look, and let me say this. It's all right to have some help. It's all right to ask for some help. It's all right to say, look, I don't understand. I don't understand this. I need some help. I need some clarity. Can you help me with this? And look, it's all right not to have the answer to everything. Nobody has the answer to everything. Even though some try to fake it till they make it like they've got all the answers and all this kind of, nobody has the answers to everything. And so it's all right if you don't know the answer. It's all right if you got to come back. If you tell me, I got to get back with you because I need to check that out. That's fine. Okay. But one thing that Eli did when he perceived that it was God that was calling Samuel, he said, this is what you do the next time. See, that's him cleaning the window. So he was not trying to hurt him or any way. He was not trying to exploit him in any way. He was not trying to do any of that stuff. Lord have mercy, Sister Bow. That's not what he was after. And so sometimes this is what catches us. We have opened ourselves up. And because of our, in the past, us opening ourselves up, we got burnt, we got hurt, we got skinned. All right. And so now we need help. And then the first thing that the enemy brings back, the last time you opened yourself up, you know what happened? You got burnt. You got skinned. They got by on you. They got over on you. You got hoodwinked. All this kind of stuff comes back. And so then what happens is we put these chains and locks. So now we don't let anybody in. And guess what? Guess what fences do? Not only do they keep people from getting in, they keep you from getting out. And see that sometimes that's what we fail to realize. Okay, and so don't allow past hurts Now God has put somebody in your path to help you and to be a help to you. But now you want to shut them down, and they trying to figure out why you tripping on them like that, because they don't know. Look, they just came in the picture. They just bumped into you. And so, cause they did you like that years ago, that does not mean this person right here in the present is going to do you that way. And so sometimes we have to be willing to accept the help that is right before us. Look, sometimes our past hurts, our reach is too short, and we can't reach high enough to clean that window. But guess what God will do with his good self and his gracious self? He'll put somebody in our path that's able to reach up, and so they can clean it. And then we can look at life in a whole different way. We won't look at it with such negativity. Like everything is just crumbling around, and there's just, nothing good. And, when the older folks died, then we don't have no church no more cause of the way everything is now, and all this kind, all of these things just need someone to clean our windows. Look, the young lady was asleep, and she was unaware that her husband was cleaning the windows. Guess why? Guess why he did it? This is why he did it. Because he knew when she came to sit down for breakfast with the young lady already having clothes hung out, he knew that his wife would look directly at it. But he was going to be of help so that this time, see, he saw the problem. Sister Bernie, he saw that her vision had been clouded. He knew that the windows were dirty. Because of the windows being dirty that she was looking at, she was perceiving that the clothes she was looking at was dirty. And when in fact, it was what she owned, what she lived in, that was dirty. Not what she was looking at on the other side of the window. And so sometimes we can't see, God Almighty. Sometimes we don't see the thing that's on the other side clearly because of what we're trying to look through. And I'm telling you, some of the things that we have been through, sometimes it clouds what's on the other side of the window. And sometimes because we didn't deal with those past hurts, there's still unforgiveness there. There's still pain there. And yeah, we might be trying to mask that thing and go right on with it. But baby, after a while and by, you're going to be able to tell, I'm over that, or I'm over that. But you can tell every time you start talking about it, your voice get raised. But but you're over it. Well, if you're over it, why your voice keep getting high? Why your neck popping? Why you just act like you get all fidgety when you get, but you over it. And so sometimes we got to be honest with our own self. The window dirty. It needs to be clean. And if we are not able to clean it ourselves, God has somebody in our circle who's able to do it. But now we've got to be willing to let them in and let them do it. Because those places, look, I'm going to tell you, those places are tender places. Those are touchy subjects. Know what happened to you years ago. It was not fair and it should not have happened. But just because it happened does not give us a right to stay mad with God for allowing it to happen. We've got to get past, we've got to clean them windows. We've got to, and look, we just got to fess up and say, God, I need your help. I've been trying to fake this thing. I've been trying to smile through the tears and all this other kind of stuff. But even through that, God, I need your help because I want to see this thing clearly. Because when we do not perceive things in the right way, we make wrong judgments and therefore we make wrong decisions. And then those decisions have consequences that can hinder us and just hamper us for years down the line. So it's a look, we need to do it for ourselves. And nobody said it's easy. It's not an easy thing. That's why I said the first thing we have to do is admit that our windows need to be clean. That's the first thing we need to admit. Our windows need to be clean. I need help. I need help. Look, and look, sometimes we have the ability to say, God, I'm coming to you as an old book. Sometimes you might be in a service and the Lord might send deliverance through that service. Who knows? The Lord might send deliverance. The Lord might be delivering somebody just through this chat tonight. It might be sending deliverance right now to where you didn't need anybody to come in and assist you, because between you and God and this word that's going forth, you were delivered through it. And therefore, now you have fresh eyes and you can look at that thing totally differently than the way you have been looking at it. Look, I'm gonna tell you, nobody just wants to be just around somebody, just always Antron, look, when you go somewhere and you play, man, you want to play for somebody, and you're a singer too. Yeah, I mean somebody that want to sing, somebody that can feel that thing. Ain't nobody want to be around nobody trying to fake it that they made. Well, I really didn't want to come out to rehearsal. Well, I'm gonna do this. Man, look, away with that right there. Clean your windows. Get somebody to clean your windows so you'll have fresh eyes to see that thing clearly, and then when he called you, you able to hear. Then you'll know which way to go. You'll know whether to stop, whether to go right, whether to go to left, whether to keep straight, to continue on. But when the windows are not clean, when we got some stuff, some unresolved issues, some stuff that we have not dealt with, and we know, if it's something that you haven't dealt with and you know it because it's confirming it in you right now, you need to deal with it. And look, you don't have to deal with it, bam, just like that tonight. Pray and ask God, how do I need to deal with it? Look, it's a process. Sometimes some of that stuff, like a scab, you just can't snatch that thing off. You just snatch it off, and just like with a child, if you snatch that Band-Aid off, they'll get to hollering, they get to crying, and everything. Look, if you're gonna be like that, it ain't time for you to talk. Look, you need to ask God to help you, so that you can do it in a Christ-like way. Look, because look, some things that they are still, it could have been years ago, but sometimes the least little thing just sets us off. And we need to ask God to help it, because God, our windows, they need to be clean. Lord, clean them. Lord, look, this thing called life is going to throw dirt on our windows. Nobody is exempt from this. This thing called life is going to throw dirt on our windows. Your loved ones, they'll expire. They'll die. That's dirt on our windows. People going to disappoint us. That's dirt on our windows. Health might start failing and all this other kind of stuff going on in your body, and you don't understand it, and all this stuff. That's dirt on our windows. It makes us not perceive things in the way that we need. So all of us going to need our windows clean from time to time. This is the thing. Are we willing? Are we willing? Hey, whoo. Pastor Jackson, you said it. Help is available. It's always available. It's just one sentence away. Lord, help me. And the Lord knows what it is. And look, and he'll begin to start working on that thing. So, does your windows, do they need cleaning? When the last time they've been cleaned? They say confession is good for. So when have you went to God and just confessed it? God, I need you to help me with this, because I'm to the point now where I just there's certain things when it happens, I'm not what you have called me to be. And God, I know that you have created me better than that. But it is the enemy's job to try and smoke up your windows. That's his job. I know it when I left. Like I said, I came across this on Monday. And then on Tuesday, me and Ariel were leaving, and I had already cranked my truck up, and I had it turned on defrost, but I didn't have the fan turned on. And so it wasn't that the frost was on it, but there was a light haze across. And with that haze going across, I couldn't see clearly to go down the road. So I had to wait a minute. And so sometimes we just got to pump the brakes on some things because we just can't see that thing clearly, and we don't want to hurt nobody else. We don't want to hurt ourselves and those that are riding with us. So sometimes you just got to pump the brakes on that thing until that window is clean. You just need to hold up. You just need to hold up on that. And it's all right. It's all right because I felt confident. See, I didn't have any confidence when my vision was impaired because of the fog that was across the windshield. But Lord have mercy, and I'm going to close on this thing right here. And see, this is how God operates with me. See, I saw this thing on Monday, but then he had me to experience it literally on Tuesday. When I turned the fan on, because the truck had been running long enough, it allowed heat. God, it allowed heat to hit the windshield. It is the heat that cleared. Good God Almighty. It's the heat that cleared the fog that was on the windshield. See, it took some heat. Bro Pete, Lady Newton, it took Tessie, it took some heat. And so, see, Kason, sometimes what happens is God will allow the enemy to be your footstool. So he will allow, Reverend Sellers, for the heat to be turned up from time to time. Because what the heat does, Sister Maggie, is it clears the windshield so that you can see clearly. So don't be so against when the heat gets turned up, Sister Pat, because what it's actually doing, it started clearing. And the hotter the heat got, the faster, Lord have mercy, the faster the windshield cleared up. But it took heat coming from the bottom, rising to the top. It could look, and look, sometimes it could be the heat of sickness, the heat of finances, the heat of others turning and walking away. It could take, but that heat, look, when I do come forth out of the fire, I shall come forth as pure gold. That's what the word says. Lord have mercy. So if you in the heat, don't worry about it. You're going to come out of that thing seeing clearly. God just allowed some things to clear up. See, sometimes God turn on the heat because some of those that you have around you can't stand the heat, and he's letting you know who really for you and who's not with you. So it takes heat in order to call that stuff out, so you'll know who really with you. And so it ain't about, I'm with you, girl, but bruh, I'm with you. See, it ain't about that. You gonna know it. Because when you in the fire, they'll be in there with you. But those who are not, hey baby, hey, they're gonna scatter. They are going to scatter. So don't worry about it. It's the heat. And look, and I hope, like the cold nights we having, I hope when you crank up your car in the morning and you know, you hit that button because you see that frost out there on it. If you don't have yours up on the shelf or something like that, and you got that defrost turned on, and that heat starts to working, and when that heat starts to working, that water starts rolling down. The very thing that used to, it would be so hard, and your windshield wipers would just, Jarrell, you know how it was, your windshield wiper, when you got that frost, just go right across it. But when that heat hit it, man, when that wiper hit it, it be throwing it, everywhere. See, we ain't got to fight it. We ain't got to fight it. Don't worry. Look, when you in the heat, just know that God is in the fire with you. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. He's trying to clear our vision so we are able to perceive things in the right way. My question is, do your windows need to be clean? Like I said, all of our windows need to be clean from time to time. We go through some seasons in our lives, and sometimes it's the bugs that you can hear them hitting the windshield. And see, you ever met somebody and you couldn't even see them because they had all this stuff all over the windshield? You say, how in the world can they see? It's just like if if you go to somebody's house and you be hearing a noise, but see, they so used to hearing it that it don't even faze them. But with you, every time you hear the noise, you immediately say, bro, you don't hear that? You don't see it? Met somebody the other day and I said, how in the world can this brother see out that windshield? But it's like that stuff had been caked up there for so long, it's almost like you just got used to it. Just that I'm just gonna see through that little spot where the bugs ain't got it all mashed up and matted up and all that. No, God wants to clean that whole windshield. Lord have mercy. And then sometimes it takes it on the inside. I'm gonna tell you, y'all know how it is. When you got to clean that windshield from the inside, you got to turn your body a certain way and all. See, it take time when you gonna clean it from the inside out. It's easy for that thing to be cleaned on the. I'm gonna get into something else doing that. Look, do your windows need to be clean? Pastor Jackson said it. Hey, help is available. All we have to do is allow him to do the cleaning. And look, God and him doing that could be sending somebody our way. But don't let past hurts, when God has sent somebody, make you turn the help that God has sent to you away. God wants us to see things clearly. He wants us to perceive it in the right way. But the only way for us to perceive it is our view has to be clear. It cannot be obstructed by anything. If it is, we won't perceive it in the right way, and therefore we'll make the wrong judgment. Making those wrong judgments can make us make wrong decisions, and then that will have us sometimes in a bad place, and then we've got to go back and ask God to help us. And so, Lord, God is willing. He is able to help us in our perception, that problem that we have. Thank you so much.